All right, let us say hello to Payton Talbott. What an opportunity he has this Saturday as he faces former two-division champ, Olympic gold medalist Henry Cejudo at UFC 323. The end of the pay-per-view era for the UFC. Payton, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good, man. Just ready to get into the week and get into the whole process of fight week.
Absolutely. It's good to have you here. By the way, my colleague Jose Young says hello, and he's excited to chat with you about everything else but fighting in Las Vegas.
Okay. Yeah, we're talking again. Sweet.
Yeah. But today we are actually talking about the fighting in this matchup with Henry Cejudo. This one threw me for a little bit of a loop, Peyton, to be honest, because I had heard rumblings about you maybe fighting on the MSG card against a different ranked guy, but then I was told it didn't come together. But then we get this announcement of you versus Henry Cejudo, and I was like, whoa, just didn't see this one coming. Were you surprised this was the name presented to you?
A little bit. Yeah, I was a little surprised. I never, I thought Henry was going to be retired long before I even got up to this rank, but it's not as surprising to me personally because, like you said, I was offered a lot of fights prior to that, and I had been, about to fight multiple people. I said yes to, and I guess I got no's from everybody else that was offered to. So it kind of just went down the line, and then we got to him, and he said yes. So to me, it was just like, I mean, yeah, it makes sense because nobody else is saying yes.
Why do you think they weren't saying yes?
Beats me, man. You never know. Yeah, who knows? But I'm not really one to call people out and patronize them over that. But they know, and I know, and that's kind of all that matters.
Fair enough. Once the initial, I guess, somewhat surprise wore off, when you take that all away, what was your reaction just sort of looking at this fight from like a legacy, name value, what it could mean standpoint?
I think it's amazing. That's a big reason of why I took this fight. Um, I think just you're not really going to get an opportunity like this again, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not really here to try to get the belt and pick my way up to the top. Like I just want to fight the toughest dudes, and somebody like Henry is just a special person in my weight class, and that kind of legacy I'm not really going to find anywhere else right now. So I want to, I want to see what I can do in there. I want to see what I'm made of in there a little bit with a stud like that. I want to see what I got in me.
The big storyline behind this fight is, you mentioned the R word earlier. He's been saying quite a bit in the lead up to this fight that this is it. This is the last one. But then if he does a couple of interviews, he's like, yeah, this is it. Maybe. So you just never know what's going on in not just his head, but like any fighter's head, because if you're anyone who's been paying attention to the sport, actual MMA retirements, they just don't happen. But hypothetically, if this is the end of the line for Henry and you're his final opponent, what is that like for you? Like, what does that actually mean to you outside of just fighting a super good guy and a super talented guy who has all these accolades?
It's an honor. That's also why I was so for the fight because it's very rare that you get to do that and to walk somebody out of their love and passion and what they do in life is just it's an honor because he's going to show up in that fight unlike how he's ever shown up before. And I think, I'm all about wringing them like a wet rag and getting every last drop out. So I think that that is going to be entirely possible in the fight because it is likely his last one. So
He's 0-3 since he came back from the first retirement, and he had the close fight with Aljo. He lost to Merab, which, everyone's been losing to Merab. And then he had the weird eye poke tech decision ending to the Song Yudong fight. And he's been competitive, like, in pretty much all of these fights. Like, he won the first round, in my opinion, against Merab, and then Merab just kind of Merabbed him. But what have you made of the second go around of Henry Cejudo to this point? Because, if he zigs instead of zags in certain moments, he could be champion right now.
yeah. I mean, I think that is a lot of the guys at my weight class. Marab is kind of an anomaly, but aside from him, that's kind of how it is in the top five, top eight of our weight class. It's very high level. But I think Henry is, I mean, he's competed with all those guys. He's looked good. And those are that's the top of the world right there. So going back to back to back, coming out of retirement against those guys is that's just impressive. So I can't remember exactly what your question was, but I think that yeah.
Yeah, it's just more like what has been made of the second go around because he has
Yeah.
been competitive and
I
yeah,
don't think
shows
there's any
everyone.
clean way out of our sport, unfortunately. It's kind of sad, and he's a testament to that right now, as well as many other fighters. You know, it's really hard to get out of the sport clean. And even if you don't get out clean, you got, years of wear and tear. God knows what's happening to your brain. So, yeah.
Obviously he's a guy who's learned a lot of lessons along the way and you're learning yours as you go up through the sport as well because it's obviously a weird start to the year and your mentality heading into the most recent fight is obviously a little bit different because you're coming off of a loss. I'm curious, how different is the mentality heading into this fight with Henry compared to heading into your most previous fight?
Definitely much more at ease now. I had a little bit of nerves leading into that last fight because I'd never been in that position before and it felt very unfamiliar. Whereas now I'm happy that I'm fighting Henry. I'm very at ease with the training and the preparation that I have done, and it's fun, man. I like doing this. I like it. It's good stuff. Like just being able to have an opportunity like this, to have, whatever you want to call it, adversity knock on your door and just be able to answer it as a healthy young man. It's just a nice feeling, man.
Henry likes to put on a show during these fight weeks, as you probably know. He's probably going to talk a little trash at the press conference and throw some zingers at you. Probably
Yeah.
show up at ceremonials with some sort of gift to try to get a rise out of you. I'm sure you're prepared for all of that, right? Ready to have a good time with this.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, we kind of know each other. We're pretty familiar, so um it would take a lot to like really surprise me, I think. And I think he knows that. So we'll see. We'll see what happens because I'm pretty chill. Um But yeah, I don't know. I'm also interested to see what happens during fight week.
Oh, I didn't know you guys were like so familiar with each other.
Yeah, yeah, we hung out together for a couple days straight. He gave me a lot of like career changing advice and tried to mentor me quite a bit because I mean he was supposed to retire. I was like leading up to his Merab fight. He was supposed to retire after that, so it was like, we're never gonna fight each other. And here we are.
What was this career altering advice he gave you?
Um, he gave me a lot actually. Without getting too specific, it's just, how to structure your camp to mimic competition in terms of mentality and what the body can take, and just how important it is to have security outside of fighting, which I always knew, but he just had this whole life based around long-term security, like financial security, and he seemed to be very, very adamant about like you have no idea what's going to come later on in life. You always need to make sure you're good financially because everyone will try to fuck you. And yeah, I just it takes somebody telling you that and seeing it to really know. And now I'm in a position where like he was really trying to do right with by me, and he was right. So
Has he reached out to you or vice versa since the fight was booked?
he just said, "Crazy man, good luck. Best of luck to you." And I said the same.
Well, that's fun. That's nice. It's just like a little competitive. Not, it's not going to get real weird and the trash
No,
talk's not going to get silly. You guys know each other and have a lot of respect for each other. So that's good. Friendly
yeah.
competition.
Oh yeah, that's the best kind.
So how does it all go down on Saturday? What are the headlines going to read when it's all said and done?
Um, Fight of the night. What an opportunity. What a true blessing to have sight and to have the sense of sight, to just be able to behold the masterpiece that took place on Saturday in front of my eyes. What a beautiful thing to be able to see both of their souls clashing and colliding like that.
That is the longest headline in mixed martial arts history. But
Yeah.
hey, We're here to break records, and we're here to do some new things. And what an ending to the year it could be, because as we talked about earlier, it was sort of a weird start to the year at UFC 311. Obviously, the fight with Hayoni didn't go your way, but a fight and a loss in hindsight that has aged tremendously well, because Hayoni just continues to get better and better. But I want to bring this up because I saw a clip a few minutes ago resurface of Merab calling you out for this like word association thing that got edited up in a not so great way, and then you guys
Oh yeah,
squashed it during the poster signing thing. So just
yeah.
to just to give you a little bit of a run back, and I'm not going to edit this in a weird way. What people are going to see and hear is what they get. What's the word or words association for Merab now, since you guys are fighting on the same card again?
Machine, man. Machines can probably dive headfirst into ice lakes and be all right. So that's probably a better thing to call him.
Yeah, what a year he's had, going for his fourth title defense, trying to shatter some records. How do you see
Yeah,
this
man.
one? How do you see this one going down with Piotr Jan? The first fight obviously wasn't very competitive, but Jan's looked good since then. So how do you think this fight
Yeah.
looks?
I gotta side with Merab. I think he's a machine, man, and he fights by different rules, it seems. So, and he gets away with it every time. But I think it'll be a really good one to watch. Like stylistically, they match up to cancel each other out a lot. So I think they're gonna get into some rough, deep waters, and it's gonna be whoever has more heart.
Well, I'm looking forward to that fight. I'm looking forward to your fight. You're setting the table for the main event, the bantamweight championship on the line. Payton Talbott facing Henry Cejudo in Cejudo's final fight, at least we think, this Saturday at UFC 323. Payton, appreciate it, man. Enjoy fight week. Enjoy the conversation with Jose. Looking forward to that. And all the best to you on Saturday, my man.
Thank you. Much appreciated.